Hello, everybody. Randy Schiffman along with Dave Skelton tonight filling in for Charlie Washington. We're going to have to find out where Charlie is. I hope he's got a good excuse for not being here, but we're glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6 as we get ready to bring you another great basketball game featuring the Dons of IPFW against the Lewis University Flyers. And Dave, lately, the Dons have been doing everything right. They had a 5-game winning streak, which was just broken, but in the last couple of weeks, they've knocked off 2 of the best teams in the country. Why has it turned around so well for the Dons?
Well, I think it took the fellows here at IPFW a while during the middle part of the season when they were struggling to see how things would fit together and what would work best. Once they found it, they got in a nice groove.
Sean Gibson's been Mr. Consistency all year, one of the best rebounders and scorers in the league. Mike Pittman may or may not play tonight. He's got a hamstring problem, but John Honstreiter's been the big story. He had 32 points the other night against Indianapolis, and he's really come on like gangbusters. And Doug Reinke also had a great game the other night. He had 21.
I had an opportunity to see the ball game that they lost down at Northern Kentucky Saturday night. And, yeah, the 5-game winning streak was broken, but they played pretty well. You mentioned Pittman being hurt tonight, and he had a major problem early in that game down at Northern Kentucky, so he was virtually non-existent in the game. And Sean Gibson has had a great year, but had one of those flat nights. And
that happens to everybody.
That's right. That's right. And in spite of all that, at Northern Kentucky, playing on the road, second road game last week, late in the game, IPFW was in the ball game, had an opportunity to take a lead with about a minute and a half to go, and it just didn't fall. So it was a tough way to break a winning streak, but it was a good ball game.
We're going to check out the standings in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Of course, the Dons not in the hunt this year, though they have been playing really well lately. Right now, the Dons are 7-9. They are in 5th place in the GLVC. Lewis is 5-11. That is a 7th place tie in the GLVC. Well, maybe we're not going to get a look at those standings. I thought we were. Again, the Flyers come in here not playing well. They are 11-15 overall. But, Dave, you were saying this seems to be a team that IPFW always has some trouble with. There we see the standings now. Kentucky Wesleyan, number 1, 13-3. Ashland, 12-4. Bellarmine, 12-4. And Southern Indiana, 12-4. I've got a feeling all 4 of those teams are going to go to the Division II playoffs.
It could very well be. On the other hand, sometimes the pinch gets put on and somebody gets left home. I'm not sure who it would be this year.
Then you saw the Dons in 5th, and below them was Lewis at 5-11. The Dons can win their last 2 tonight and Saturday night to finish 9-9 in the conference. That would be quite an accomplishment considering the way things were going about a month ago.
That's right. And when you talk about the top 4 teams in the conference, if all 4 don't go, it could very well be Bellarmine that gets left home because they've been kind of in a tail slide here at the end of the year. I think Lewis even last weekend got a victory over Bellarmine. We had beaten them a week before that, so they've hit some hard times after having a great beginning.
Yeah, but they usually look at how you're playing towards the end and the quality wins and wins on the road and things like that. Yeah, I tell you, right now, IPFW trying to build towards next season, and Lewis just, I think, trying to get this season over with.
I expect you're right, and IPFW, in a lot of ways, just a couple, maybe three ball games away from being in that same hunt that you saw there for the playoffs.
Now we're going to head down to the court and hear from our PA announcer, Mark Banger.
Contest between the Lewis University Flyers and your IPFW Mastodons. First, the starting lineup for the visiting team from Lewis University. At 1 guard, a 5'10" senior from Ohio, Illinois, number 10, Lance Harris. At the other guard, a 6'3" junior from DeMott, Indiana, number 22, Troy Pendergrass. At the center position, a 6'9" senior from Arlington Heights, Illinois, number 54, Eric Rombach. At 1 forward, a 6'6" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 30, Rich Agner. And at the other forward, a 6'2 senior from St. Charles, Illinois, number 23, Corey Powell. The head coach for Lewis University is Al Davis. He is assisted by Brian Mihalik. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Mastodons. At one guard, a 5'10 freshman from Greenwood, Indiana, number 4, Jeff Smithy. At the other guard, a 5'11 senior from Bloomfield, Indiana, number 10, Mike Pittman. At the center position, a 6'8 sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Doug Reinke. At one forward, a 6'1 junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Clarence Rich. And at the other forward, a 6'7 sophomore from Lanesville, Indiana, number 41, Sean Gibson. IPFW is coached by Andy Piazza, and he is assisted by John Felsky. And now, will everyone please stand for the playing of the national anthem by Mr. Brian Rutan.
Just a couple of, not even maybe a minute away from tip-off here. IPFW getting ready to take on Lewis University. Dons, if they can close out the season with 2 more wins, that would make it 7 out of 8. Would give them a nice feeling going into next season, since there's only 1 senior on the team, Dave. And we were told that Mike Pittman might not play at all tonight, and now he's going to get a start, see how that hamstring holds up.
See how long he can go, and as a senior, this is it, so he might as well give it all he's got.
I know I saw Mike and Coach Piazza at a luncheon the other day, and they were saying that Mike's hardly practiced all year because besides the hamstring, he's had a very bad ankle much of the season. Number 54, Eric Rombach, will jump against Doug Reinke. We are set to go from the Don Dome. Glad you're with us on College Cable Access, Channel 6. Reinke gets a tip, but it's controlled by Lewis, though Clarence Rich gets his first steal of the night. I don't think it'll be his last. Jeff Smithy quickly to Sean Gibson, passes up the jumper. And now they'll go inside to Reinke. Won't go off the glass, and the rebound pulled down by Troy Pendergrass.
Little rocky start here at the beginning. We'll see if that ball slows down a little bit.
Number 30, Rich Agner with the ball. May be the best freshman in the conference this year. Boy, he has played some good basketball. Lance Harris outside is number 10, 54, the big guy, Rombach, 6'9". There's Harris trying the 3. No go. Yes, it falls in. It looked like it was coming out. Harris gets it, and Lewis gets the first bucket of the game. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Harris has to like the bounce on that last shot.
Yeah. Thing hit the rim, went up about 6 feet in the air and fell right through the middle. Didn't touch anything the second time. Gibson thinking about the three, doesn't take it. Ball almost stolen by Corey Powell, knocks it out of bounds. Similar styles of the teams they have out there. Both teams basically playing three guards and two big guys.
It's not a floor full of real tall timber tonight.
No. Sean Gibson fakes the three. Now he gets it to Clarence Rich. Dons have 30 on the shot clock. Rich inside to Gibson. Can't hold it. Oh, he controls it out to Smithy. Throws up the air ball from three. Mike Pittman, turnaround jumper, no good. Reinke gets the rebound, and he also gets fouled. That's going to be the first team foul on Lewis and the first personal on Troy Pendergrass. Dons will inbound it. Into Reinke, back to Pittman. And they call the offensive foul on Mike Pittman. Thought they were going to get him for a travel there, Dave.
I did too.
Or either that or possibly a... I think it might be a foul the other way, but they got Mike right there. His first, team's first. And Harris brings the ball up slowly. Flyers are, not like their nickname, actually play a pretty deliberate ball game. For the Dons to maybe trap a little, try to pick up the pace tonight. Harris fakes the three, goes inside, and he gets hammered. They're going to call it on Reinke.
Well, I don't think Doug got cheated on that one.
No. That was what we call a good foul, because the guy wasn't going to make the shot on that one. The guy's going in for a layup. You can't let him make it if you foul him. That's two on the team, one on Reinke, and he's going to... Well, Jeff Smithy is coming out. And Tony Martin comes in. The Dons go to a little bigger lineup. Well, I have been told that Tony Martin has been practicing at point guard. In case Pittman can't go much tonight, he would be the backup to Jeff Smithy at the point.
Tony's one of those guys that Coach Piazza and Felsky both have said he could play any position for us out there if we needed it.
Harris hits 1 out of 2, and it's Lance Harris 4, IPFW nothing right now. We've played almost 2 minutes in the first half. Pittman gets it over to Martin. He'll try the three-pointer, and it's short. Clarence Rich almost gets the rebound. Now it's out to Harris. He's got the easy layup. And it's Harris 6, IPFW nothing, and there is a silly foul on Tony Martin. There was no way he was going to block that shot. Harris was 5 feet in front of him when he went up for the layup. And Martin gives him a chance for the three-point play. We might get another look at that. Harris doing everything right now.
Smallest guy on the floor.
And he hits it. 7-0 Lewis right now, 2 minutes into the ball game. Dons need to get a score here. You don't want to let the opposition get its confidence up on the road.
Lewis typically one of those ball clubs that plays a kind of, I call a junkyard dog defense, just man-to-man and always in your face.
Now, it seems like when the refs know you play like that all the time, like in Indiana, for instance, that they let you get away with a little more because it's your style.
A little more contact.
And with the steal in the bucket, Corey Powell quickly 9-0. Coach Piazza might have to take an early timeout here. Lewis really overplaying the passing lanes and getting some steals early.
And IPFW hadn't adjusted to it, except there they did.
Sean Gibson with the nice pass on the inside, but he got fouled before he could lay it off to Reinke. Too bad, because Doug would have had an easy layup.
Kind of looks like once the IPFW fellas take a look, they can find Reinke in that middle. He may have an opportunity to cut loose like he did at Northern Kentucky last week.
You see Gibson got hit by number 23, Corey Powell, his first, Flyers second. Pittman gets it into Clarence Ritz, and he has it stolen, but it goes out of bounds off of Corey Powell. Boy, he's got some quick hands. He's got a steal, and he's got a couple that he just about stole already. We haven't even played 3 minutes in the first half. Mike Pittman throws it into Tony Martin. 40 on the shot clock, so that's no problem.
IPFW needs to break that ice in that scoring column.
Pittman over to Tony Martin inside. There's the layup, and he misses it. Reinke with the rebound and puts in the baby hook. It takes him 3 minutes, but the Dons do score tonight, and it's 9-2 Lewis. And you can see Lewis Lance Harris of the Flyers really bringing it up slowly and deliberately. They want to make this as quick a game as possible. Underneath, the foul has it knocked away by Clarence Rich. Here come the Dons. Pittman has it knocked away again by Powell. Boy,
he's everywhere, isn't he?
Quick hands. Might be as quick as Clarence Rich, who I think has the quickest hands in the conference.
Just could very well be.
Clarence come up. He does a lot of the intangibles that you don't see in the stats the next day. Deflect a pass here and there, gets a lot of steals, causes some bad passes.
And gets his share of some rebounds in there when it's underneath and needed.
And another steal by Lewis as Pittman loses the ball. Here's Harris. Got the big guy, Rombach, outside. That's Agner. Over to Powell. Agner inside, looking for Rombach. No, goes all the way across court. Pendergrass back to Harris. Harris hangs in the air and doesn't get it to fall. That baby was in and out.
It was way down
out. Almost came in, fell down twice. Pittman for three, a little too strong, and there's Powell with the rebound. John Honstrider getting ready to check in. He has really played some great ball the last month and a half, and also Pat Murphy coming in. Law and order.
This could
sometimes like to call it.
Could be the kind of game that Honstrider could really have some input in that middle.
Shot no good out of the corner. That was Gibson with the rebound. And now the pass inside, stolen away by Rick Agner. And Harris pushing it up 1-on-2, runs over Tony Martin. And they've got the foul on. Lance Harris with the charge. Definitely looked like Tony had established his defensive position there, as you see he did. And Harris 1-on-2, not the best move when you're 5'10".
That's right.
That is the first personal foul on Harris, third team foul. Wholesale substitutions now for the Dons. You got Pat Murphy, number 40, coming in, along with John Honstrider, number 50, and 23, Dwayne Shears. And who stays in there? Tony Martin and Clarence Rich.
Clarence, the only starter, I believe, that's still on the floor. Less than 5 minutes played.
The Dons usually will play 10 or 11 guys. Just about everybody gets in. Shears,
Nice
the
move.
good move to the basket. Gets the layup. 9-4 now. Dons trail by 5. Good to see Shears do that. He's been shooting the jumper great the last month or so, and now if he starts getting that inside game going, he'll really have it all working. That's why he scored 25 a game in junior college. And I think the coaches were expecting a little more out of him this year. Great pass from Harris to Rombach inside, gets the bucket and the foul. Boy, Harris playing a great game right now for the Flyers.
Yes, he is.
Fouls on Pat Murphy, his first 4 team fouls already in IPFW. Rombach at the line trying for the three-point play. If he hits this one, the Flyers will have an 8-point lead. And he misses it, so it's still 11-4. Flyers lead it. We've played 5.5 minutes. The Dons only have 4 points. They haven't had that many shots. A lot of steals by the Flyers so far. Got to watch those turnovers. Martin almost falls out of bounds, but he gets it to Honstrider before he does.
So far, the action hasn't been a spectator's delight, has it?
No. Been an ugly game so far. Martin inside, short on the 2-footer, and the Flyers come away with it. Pendergrass from 3 feet. He gets that one to go. The Flyers run it when they have the opportunity. Lead it 13-4, 6 minutes into the game. Clarence Rich to Honstrider, back out to Clarence. Now it's Honstrider again. No good, but he got fouled from behind. He should get 2 shots for that one. That'll be 14 fouls on the Flyers. Each team has 4 already. Fouls on 54, Eric Rombach, his first. Honstrider will get 2 free throws. Now we've got, here you see the replay. Pittman comes back in, and Kevin Shank making his first appearance. Clarence Rich goes out, so does Tony Martin. Honstrider's been doing a good job from the free throw line lately, too. Of course, whenever you say
there
that,
you go.
you jinx him.
But he has been doing a nice job.
Mike Pittman said to me the other day, he goes, I heard you said I was a terrible free throw shooter. I No, we said that because we figured if we said you were a bad free throw shooter, you'd make it. Because whenever we say somebody's good, they miss. And then he didn't feel so badly about it. Murphy going for the steal, knocks out of bounds. Don's trailing right now, 13-5. We've played just over 6 minutes in the first half. Glad you're with us tonight on College Cable Access Channel 6. Randy Schiffman and Dave Skelton subbing for the missing in action Charlie Washington. Harris with the shot, no good, but he gets fouled. I think we had a nice piece of acting on that one. Harris threw that one up, and he knew it wasn't close, so he took the big dive.
He took advantage of two potential defenders.
We see the replay there. It looked like Harris was pushing off with the left arm.
Yeah.
Fouls on Honstrider, his first, team's 5th. Harris's first one is good. But he's got 8 points already.
Big night for him so far. Although he's been scoring well for them.
He's their top player.
He's scoring a little under 15 points a game.
And out of bounds. Off a Honstrider.
They're calling a foul.
Foul.
They're calling a foul. Interesting call,
to say the least. It looked like Harris went up in the air, grabbed the ball, and threw it off a Honstrider, but now they're saying Honstrider pushed Harris out of bounds. Tough to tell from that angle because the official was in the way. That's 2 on Honstrider, 16 fouls. He and Pat Murphy go out. Sean Gibson and Doug Ronke coming back in. Harris shaking up a little on that play. He went hard into the bleachers, so he takes a seat. And number 32, Maurice Kilo comes in. By the way, Lance Harris is from Ohio, Illinois. That really is a town in Ohio. I knew a guy in college who was from Ohio, Illinois. About 500 people live in that city. Wild shot there by number 23, Corey Powell. Pittman driving inside, gets fouled to leave his feet, and he draws the foul. Good head and shoulders fake by Pittman. We'll get a couple of free throws.
This game's starting out a little bit like the game last Saturday night down at Northern Kentucky. Early on, not a lot of scoring. Then all of a sudden, Northern Kentucky found the range and things took off.
There you see Pittman had a great fake there. Powell's got 2 fouls now. 5 team fouls on the Flyers. Pittman misses the first. This has not exactly been a clinic for 6.5 minutes. A lot of fouls, 11 fouls already combined. Pittman hits the second, and Lewis leads it 14-6. Dons need to kick it up, not a notch. Dons need to kick it up 2 or 3 notches right now. Now they've got the full court press on, trying to create a turnover, pick up the pace a little, making Lewis use some time. Powell for 3 out of the corner, no good, and Kevin Schenk comes down with the rebound.
It's Kevin's second rebound in the short time he's been in there.
Number 24, Ernest Hickman, has also checked in for Lewis. Frank, he gets the pass from Gibson, almost loses it. Now he gets it back, and now it's Shoes. Goes inside, takes a 6-footer, rolls off the rim, no good. And number 44, Rick Pisha, comes down with the rebound. Lewis also making a few substitutions here. Well, the big guy, Rombach, still in.
The ball just doesn't want to fall for the Dons tonight, does it? Or for the Flyers, for that matter.
Nobody's shooting well now. Rombach, the big guy from the outside, nails the jumper, and it's Lewis by 10, 16-6.
Over the basket, Doug.
Frank, he puts it up, no good, but he draws the foul. See Frankie. Got to learn to use the left hand over there. Foul was on number 44, Rick Pisha, his first, team's 6th. Frankie will get 2 free throws.
Doug's been hitting his free throws well lately, so let's see if we can jinx him too.
Troy Pendergrass comes in the lineup for Lewis, and Corey Powell goes out. Frankie shooting a pair. First one's good. Don's trying to chip away. Actually, Don's trying to get something going.
Get anything going, that's right.
Not that cold out tonight. They should be warm. Frankie's second one, no good. And there's a lane violation, though, on number 30, Rick Agner.
So
Reinke will get another shot at it.
Gets a new life at the line.
See if he can make the Flyers pay for that mistake. Nope. Ernest Hickman gets the rebound. 16-7. Right now, Lewis leads it. We've played just about 8 minutes of the first half.
Lewis is not a big ball club.
Out of the corner, Pendergrass just misses the three. Pittman quickly up court, inside to Gibson. Sean hasn't shot much tonight, but he shoots there. Gets the bucket and the foul. Maybe that'll wake up the Dons. It woke up the crowd. That's got to help too. Fouls on Pisha, his second. Look at strong move there by Sean Gibson, because Pisha really nailed him with the body, but Sean kept his concentration and made the bucket. You see it again, Pittman with the good entry pass. Sean with the strong move, hanging in the air, gets the bucket. Now he'll try to complete the three-point play.
It's one of Sean's strengths because he can control the ball. It's hard for them to knock it away from him, and he gets it in the hoop.
He's way short on the free throw. Don's not doing a good job from the line so far. 16-9, they trail. Flyers of Lewis University out of Romeoville, Illinois. Wherefore art thou, Romeoville? That's one place I haven't been in Illinois. You know where it is, Dave?
It hides just behind Peoria, doesn't it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I've been there, but you don't know for sure where you are when you get there.
Shot no good by Kilo, and Kevin Shank with another rebound. Over in the corner to Pittman, inside to Gibson. Sean with about 4 moves there, puts it up, no good, but he gets fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 more. Al Davis, coach of the Flyers, going, where's the foul? Where's the foul? Andy Piazza saw it. You see Andy right there. Kevin Shank, quickly. He had Pittman in the corner, as you'll see. I thought Mike might take the three, but there's Gibson inside. And there's the foul. They called it on number 30. He got him on the arm, Rich Agner. That's his first. 18 fouls already, though, on the Flyers. Gibson hits the first. Let's see if somebody can go 2 for 2 from the line.
And if he can hit this, that'll put the team over the 50% mark for the game if he can hit.
And he does. Those 2 are perfect. Now the lead is 5, 16-11. Dons trail by 5. It was 10 just a minute ago. And there's Pittman with the steal. That was a horrible pass by Harris. Shank wide open underneath. Almost fell out of bounds. There was nobody near him except for Harris. And at 5'10", I don't think he's going to block a lot of shots. Shank realized he was there, and he put it up and got the bucket, and now it's a 3-point game. Harris might still be a little shaken up after he took that hard fall into the bleachers. Number 24, Hickman out of the corner for 3, hits the side of the backboard. And that ball tipped out of bounds by number 40, Tim Hansen. And it'll stay with the Dons. A 3-pointer could tie it up now.
Flyers have been going with that long outside shot, particularly from the corners here lately, and they haven't had one fall.
Nope. They hit the first 3 of the game. Lance Harris, first shot he took was a 3-pointer. Made it, and they haven't hit a 3 since, the Flyers. Jeff Smithy and Clarence Rich come back in the lineup. So does Dwayne Shears for the Dons. Joined by Reinke and Gibson. Reinke's got the ball there, now to Smithy. Shears might take the 3. Inside Gibson, great pass from Clarence Rich. And Gibson's going to go to the free throw line again. He's making a living at the line so far.
Not much doubt about the foul either.
No, that was a good foul though by Pendergrass. No way he's going to stop Gibson inside, make him work for the 2. He got him across both arms. That's 2 fouls on Pendergrass. A lot of guys in the Flyers getting in foul trouble already. 19 fouls. Gibson hits the first, and it's a 1-point ball game.
Nice little mini run here by the Dons. We'll see if they can sustain it.
Great pass from Clarence Rich. He didn't hold on to it very long. It was a Larry Bird kind of pass.
Yeah.
You get it and whip it to the open guy. Don't give the defense time to adjust. Gibson 1 out of 2. The Dons trail by 2, 16-14. That's 8 points in a row, though, by my count for the Dons. It was 16-6. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Harris with the big dribble outside. Gets to Hickman. Now it's Rombach. Working it outside. Taking a little time off the clock here. Lewis likes to do that. Randy Clay. Nice move to the bucket. And the Flyers break that 8-0 run by the Dons. Oh, nice pass from Shears to Reinke, but he wasn't ready. Now it's Clarence for three out of the corner. Perfect. Dons' first tray of the night. And they're back in this one, 18-17. IBFW trailing Lewis by 1. Hickman looking for someone to throw it to, finds Clay, and he almost goes backcourt, just saves it to Harris. Lewis now taking the open shot there. Now it's the big guy, Rombach. I'll tell you, for a big guy, Dave, he has shown he can shoot it from the outside. That's two he's hit from about 18 feet.
In fact, so far he may have been their most consistent outside shooter other than perhaps Rick Harris.
He is 6'9". He's no little guy. Gibson on the inside. Oh, the backwards layup off the glass. Great move by Sean Gibson. That's a highlight shot right there.
It's a nice move.
And it's a one-point ball game again. Oh, great pass inside to Rombach. Now both teams have finally received that wake-up call. We're seeing some good basketball the last couple of minutes. 22-19, Lewis leads it by 3. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Reinke, a nice pass to Clarence Rich, and he gets it to fall. As poorly as they were playing 5 minutes ago, Dave, 180-degree turn right now. Both teams playing super.
A lot more continuity to the offensive movement as we see it on the floor.
Pat Murphy and John Honsteiner by the scores table. Getting ready to check in. Reinke and Gibson will probably go out. Harris can't take the three. Inside to Agner against Reinke. And we've got a foul. Could be on Doug Reinke.
Or maybe Clarence Rich.
Yeah, they got Clarence Rich away from the shot.
But that's Clarence's first, so not too bad.
4 new players coming in for the Dons. You've got John Honsteiner coming in. Let's see the replay here. See Clarence underneath. Just got him a little across the hand. Rich Agner will be at the line. Shooting 2. 17 fouls now on the Dons, and Agner misses the first. Checking in for the Dons, John Honsteiner, Pat Murphy, Tony Martin, Mike Pittman. Clarence Rich stays out there. Agner hits the second, and it's a 2-point lead for the Flyers, 23-21. 7:45 to go in the first half. Mike Pittman driving inside, dishes to a wide open Pat Murphy, who misses the running layup. And Agner almost lost it out of bounds. Tony Martin, the great hustle play, ran behind him, caught it, and bounced it off of Agner. That was not a smart play by the freshman Rich Agner there. He could have just grabbed the ball. He didn't think.
He didn't count on Tony coming out of the pack with the ball.
Bad pass by Clarence Rich, stolen away.
Mastodons didn't take good care of the basketball.
Harris for 3, perfect. 26-21, Lewis by 5. Pittman inside to Honsteiner. Oh, it misses a layup. It's 3 missed layups by the Dons so far. Great pass there by Pittman. Number 42, Randy Clay tries the 3, doesn't get it, and Pat Murphy pulls down the rebound. Pittman's got Tony Martin, great bounce pass. Martin waits for the defenders to go by and gets the layup. Pretty play by the Dons. 26-23, Lewis by 3 points. 6:40 to go in the first half. Pass underneath to Clay, can't make it. Loses the ball to Clarence Rich. Pat Murphy inside to Honsteiner, and he gets hammered by Eric Rombach. Very good motion by the Dons the last 3 or 4 minutes here. Now they're starting to run the offense. See Clarence pushing it up.
And if John
Murphy
can
with
get
great
one If John can get one to fall, he's getting the moves, getting inside.
He got hit pretty hard there by Rombach, who picked up his second personal foul. 10 team fouls on the Flyers, so the Dons will get at least 2 free throws every time now on the foul. Hanstrider hits the first. They would get 3 if one of the players were fouled on a 3-point attempt. One of the new rules in college basketball this season. Second free throw by Hanstrider, in and out. 2-point ball game, 26-24. Lewis leads it, 6:20 to go in the first half. Randy Clay had to be careful there, almost a 5-second count. Harris inside to Clay, nowhere to go. Back out to Harris. Wide open, Agner in the corner. Passes up to 3. Rombach, the big guy, almost throws it away. Harris with the save. 10 on the shot clock. Clay inside, no good, but he gets fouled by Hanstrider. Only about 5 seconds to go on the shot clock there. You don't want to commit it. That
John's
was
picking
not
up
a good shot.
No, it's not.
That's 3 on Hanstrider, so he's going to have to go out, and Gibson will come back in. Clay will get 2 free throws. Lewis looking to build on its 2-point lead. First one is perfect. Here you see it again, just the lean-in shot. They're saying Hanstrider just got him with the body. Clay hits them both, and now it's 28-24, Lewis by 4. To Martin, now it's Murphy. Good fake inside, and again he leaves the layup short. Murphy looking for the foul then. Yeah, you don't see a lot of air balls from 2.5 feet. Murph looked like he might have been bumped on that. Inside Rombach, he won't miss that layup. Great pass from Lance Harris. I'll tell you, Dave, right now, Lance Harris is the difference in the ball game. He's got 10 or 12 points. He's got to have 4 assists.
And he's been playing some pretty good defense.
Pittman for 3 out of the corner, good. Boy, as soon as he let that one go, you knew that was right in the middle. Dons needed that one in a bad way. 30-27 now, only down 3. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Lewis has pretty much controlled the tempo. There's Harris inside over Gibson, can't make it. And who comes away with it? Clay. 4 or 5 guys had a hand on that ball.
Somebody need to squeeze it.
Handles on the top. That's what we always like to see. Handles on the top. I wonder if Rombach will take a 3-pointer. He's hitting from close to the line. I wouldn't be surprised if I see the big guy throw up a 3. He's out there again. He's proven he can hit the long one. He's hit 2 18-footers already. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Clay's got the ball. He drives inside against Pittman and misses the shot. And Gibson gets the rebound and gets fouled from behind. We're going to get number 24, Ernest Hickman. So Sean will get 2 free throws.
Hickman was a little over anxious that time after missing the shot and following it on in because Sean had it dead to center.
Yeah, we see the replay here. Gibson had great position. And there was no way that he was giving up that ball. Gibson, the only guys really around him were his teammates. That is the first foul on Ernest Hickman. Maurice Kilo comes back in. Hickman goes out. I think the coach wants to tell him that's not a good place to foul. Gibson's first free throw is no good. Sean not doing a good job at the line so far. He can usually make these babies in his sleep.
Well, he's almost always better than 50%, and that's where he is right now. Now he's over.
Second one. 2-point ball game. Dons trailing Lewis 30-28. Kevin Shank playing a little Tough defense there, knocks it out of bounds.
Good hustle by Kevin over in the corner.
Don's applying the pressure now. Everybody up except for Doug Reinke. He's the last line of defense. Here comes the trap. Lewis beats it pretty easily there, and a couple of seconds only to get it across, and Flyers do. Number 10 with the ball, Lance Harris. He's the guy to watch out for. He is the guy who runs the show. He's open for the three. No good. He was trying to draw the foul, doesn't get it. Here's a 3-on-1. Pittman got a little too showy there, Mike. He was trying to do a wraparound pass, I think, and the defender did not go for it.
He pushed the ball a little too deeply to have a 3-on-1. He should stop and see what that defender is going to do.
Yeah, he might have wanted to give that ball to Reinke, who was coming right down the middle. Doug should have had an easy layup. Kevin Schenk was a little too far out on the wing. And sometimes, too, Mike might have wanted to dribble that ball a little more in the middle of the court. Normally, you want the ball in the middle so the two side lanes are open. A lot easier to say that from up here than when you're doing it on the court. Pass inside to Clay, gets it over to Rombach. Terrific pass.
Big guy's having a good ball game.
Terrific game. He has been on fire the last month or so. And it's a 4-point ball game. Lewis leads it 32-28. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Randy Schiffman and Dave Skelton bringing the ball game tonight. Glad you're with us. Dave, you're still going to have to tell us what happened to Charlie. We'll talk about that in a second. Kilo, length of the court, doesn't make it. There's Clay with the rebound. Puts it up, and he gets fouled by Reinke. Boy, if he's even in the area, it seems like they call the foul on Doug Reinke. That's his second.
Doug has a way of being found when that whistle blows, doesn't he?
Randy Clay will be at the line shooting a pair. 9 team fouls on the Dons right now. Clay no good on the first. We want to remind you to stick around at halftime. We'll be hearing from IPFW Athletic Director and Volleyball Coach Arnie Ball on Coach's Corner. Volleyball team playing great right now. That is Doug Reinke inside, gets the layup. Dwayne Shears with the good pass, and it's a 3-point ball game. 33-30. Don's back in it. Trailing by 3.
Yeah, once IPFW was able to tighten the ball game up, it
Reinke
stayed tight.
with the block there. Great play. Tim Hansen couldn't get the jumper off. Clarence Rich passes up the 2, goes in for the layup. No good. But stolen away by the Dons. 3-pointer would tie it up. Clarence trying it. No good. Harris wide open too. Kilo, he gets the bucket. Good thing that Rich didn't foul him there. Someone's got to touch that ball inbounds. There you go. Almost a turnover on the inbounds pass. 35-30. Lewis leads it. 1:40 to go, and what has been basically, Dave, a sloppy first half.
It's had
5 good minutes, and that's it.
That's right. There was a real good stretch in there.
Gibson has a shot blocked. Lewis comes away with it. Inside Harris. He gets it to fall. He is just killing the Dons right now.
He'd been quiet for a while.
Wayne Shears, they call a block. Thought they were going to call the charge there, but they get the block on number 40.
If I'd have had to guess before I saw him point.
You see Shears moving inside. Ooh, that one could have gone either way. That is one tough call. Pat Murphy coming in right now. Reinke going out. They don't want to see Doug pick up 3 fouls in the first half. Good move by Coach Piazza. 1:11 to go in the first half. Don's trailing by 7. 37-30, but Shears can make it 5 if he hits both free throws. Misses the first. IPFW really struggling from the line tonight. If the Dons are hitting 75%, we've got about a tie ball game.
You're just right on.
Shears misses them both.
7 for 15. Unofficially.
And normally out of 15 free throws, you'd like to see your team making about 11, even 12. Dons are giving 4 or 5 more, and it's a 2-point ball game. As it is, it's 7. Bad shot there by number 44, Rick Pisha. Dons have it. 45 to go in the first half inside Gibson. Good shot by Sean. 37-32, and now the Flyers are going to play for the last shot of the half. The shot clock is off, 35 to go. Flyers lead it by 5.
Be important for IPFW to hold them here and not let them stretch that lead out. In fact, wouldn't be a bad idea if they could come up with that ball and get 2 of their own.
Right. Last thing you want to see if you're an IPFW fan is Lewis make a 3-pointer right now, because that would really give them a lot of momentum going into the second half. 10 on the shot clock and the game clock. Pass inside, almost stolen by Clarence Rich, knocks it out. We've got 7 seconds to go in the first half. Lewis to inbound the ball right underneath. Rich Agner throws it in. He gets it out to Harris. 5 seconds. Clay's got the ball. Spin dribble. Misses the layup. And that's going to be the first half. Pittman throws it the length of the court. Wouldn't have counted if it had gone. And at the end of the first 20 minutes, Dons on the wrong end of the score here. It's Lewis 37, IPFW 32. And we don't have the stats yet, Dave, but the thing that sticks out right now is that free throw shooting. What do you have them unofficially? 7 out of 15
7 out of 15,
IPFW?
yeah. So not hitting that free one at all. With the scoring, it looks like probably Sean Gibson unofficially here will be the leader at halftime with 10 points. Doug Ranke's chipped in with 7. Honstrider 2, Shank 2, Martin 4, Shears 2, Rich 5, and Pittman 4. So it's fairly well spread around with only Sean Gibson in double figures for the Mastodons.
Okay, and we'll be back in about 10 or 12 minutes to bring you the second half from out here at IPFW tonight. But now we want you to stay tuned.
Get up. Safety belt test at 9. Hurry.
Not another windshield taste test. Count me out.
What? The old pro backing down from a motorhome?
Nothing like that. I'm just tired of trying to convince people to wear safety belts. No one's listening.
Safety belt saved Barbara Mandrell.
You're right. Someone listen. Let's hit the road.
You hungry, partner?
Let's do some donuts on the way in.
Good idea.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
For the next 10 minutes, we will explore a mystery beneath the streets of Brooklyn.
For over 100 years, billions of cars and pedestrians traveled along this busy Brooklyn street, never realizing they were moving over buried history. Underneath is the world's oldest subway, buried and forgotten until a 19-year-old college student rediscovered the Atlantic Avenue Tunnel. Bob Diamond was listening to a radio show in December of 1979 when an announcer mentioned rumors of a tunnel under the street. He began a 7-month search, wading through dozens of documents and history books and rummaging through files at Borough Hall. He was not the first one to try to find this piece of history. A task force from a large Brooklyn newspaper, the police, and dozens of curious people had failed in their attempts to find the tunnel, but Diamond was not discouraged.
People who were so-called experts told me that I shouldn't waste my time because the tunnel was destroyed 100 years ago, or that it never really existed in the first place, or that it was flooded with 15 feet of water and had 9-foot-long man-eating rats in it. The more they told me these ridiculous stories, the more I was convinced that there actually was something to this.
A little blue dot on some blueprints finally clued him into an entry point. The dot indicated a manhole cover that was different from any cover for miles. With the help of the water company and Brooklyn Union Gas, Diamond went to Atlantic Avenue to investigate.
And they picked up the manhole, and there was just a 4-foot drop, and there was dirt fill underneath, so it didn't look like anything was under there. So I went down there and stood on top of the dirt fill, and the top part of my body was protruding out onto the street. So I happened to move my feet around, and I noticed that there was a gap. So I squeezed down inside and found there was a space of about 18 inches between the top of the dirt and the inside of the roof of the tunnel.
Digging with his bare hands, Diamond finally reached a concrete bulkhead. He removed dozens of cobblestones and bricks and broke through.
Did you know? Well, it was like Raiders of the Lost Ark when they opened up the Well of Souls and that blast of air came out from underneath. And we pointed a flashlight in through the opening, and you couldn't see anything at all. It was just a completely dark void with no sound in it.
Diamond's discovery was not just a personal milestone, it had historical value.
The Atlantic Avenue Tunnel was something that revealed, if it were really there, something about the life and the attitudes and the point of view and the political situation in Brooklyn in the middle of the 19th century. And it revealed it not just by words in a book, but it revealed it by its actual presence.
The tunnel was built 143 years ago after a series of severe rail accidents forced a half-mile section of the Long Island Railroad to move underground. 800 Irishmen began building the tunnel using the cut-and-cover method for the first time in rail history. This system involved digging a deep hole in the street and covering it with a roof. Their technique became the forerunner of the subway system, but there were problems.
Halfway through the work, the railroad wanted the tunnel to be completed in only 4 months. So they hired an English foreman to come down and tell the men they had the honor of working on Sundays as well. And at this point, one of the men pulled a derringer out of his boot and shot the foreman in the head, and they chopped his body up into pieces to get rid of the evidence.
But the death of the foreman did not halt construction. The tunnel was completed in 7 months and was part of the Long Island Railroad line that ran all the way from Boston to the Brooklyn waterfront, where commuters would continue by ferry to Manhattan. The tunnel was used for only 17 years. Then it was destroyed by corrupt businessmen and a politician. The Litchfield brothers, owners of Litchfield Mansion in Prospect Park, wanted to build a copy of the Champs-Élysées along Atlantic Avenue, but the locomotives chugging down the street were in the way. So they decided to get rid of the railroad.
Plan began to come together when they enlisted the support of Hugh McLaughlin, who was the political boss of Brooklyn at the time, who used his influence in the state legislature to pass a law in 1859 called the Tunnel Act, which said that tunnels and steam locomotives in the city of Brooklyn are a public nuisance, and the adjacent property owners have to pay Mr. Litchfield $130,000 to destroy the tunnel and eliminate the railroad nuisance.
Litchfield collected the money from nearby homeowners. If they couldn't pay, he confiscated their land. But instead of destroying the tunnel, Litchfield put the money in his pocket. He sealed off the approach ramps, capped off the ventilation ducts, and had 3 commissioners verify that the tunnel had been destroyed. Instead of transforming the area into a Champs-Élysées, it ended up a slum. The Litchfields abandoned their plans after a series of death threats. The destruction of the railroad ruined local business and devalued property. A few years later, while most thought the tunnel was destroyed, a local bar owner discovered the tunnel and put it to use.
According to the police records, he had a still right here in this little crater, and the still had a pipeline that came out of it and a hand-driven pump, and the pipeline went out to the back room of his bar, which would have been about 250 feet from where we are now, and the pipe ended at a cold water faucet in his back room. When you turned the cold water faucet on, Jim would come out, and after a while the police found out about it, and they came down and broke up the bottles and took the still away as evidence.
Old shoes, some rusty wheelbarrows, tools, tracks, clamshells, and a beef bone are some other artifacts Diamond found. While the street above has changed in the last century, the tunnel remains as it did over 100 years ago.
It's completely silent, and as Walt Whitman put it 120 years ago, it's as silent and damp as the grave, and people who don't appreciate their lives on the outside should be forced to live here for a few days.
The half-mile tunnel is 21 feet wide and 17 feet high. It's always about 65 degrees because the tunnel is more than 4 feet below the surface. The walls are 6.5 feet thick, and the roof is 2 feet thick, with a 6-layer brick arch. These walls may cover one of the tunnel's greatest treasures.
There's an extremely good probability that this particular locomotive is sitting behind that bulkhead wall, only about 75 feet behind us. Might be the oldest locomotive in the United States in its original condition.
A missing section of the roof in the structure behind the wall has prevented Diamond from breaking through to find the locomotive. He hopes to eventually get to it by digging down through the street.
Discovering the tunnel lay new tracks in Bob Diamond's life. He has dedicated the past 8 years to revitalizing the tunnel. His vision is to reopen the area as a light rail system and as a museum.
His dedication is finally getting results. He convinced the city to set aside $2 million for the project's first stages.
Any light rail project or any form of mass transportation in downtown Brooklyn that would achieve getting people out of their cars and still move people efficiently throughout downtown Brooklyn to schools, to businesses, and so on and so forth, to their place of work, would certainly help Brooklyn in terms of its transportation mobility and therefore commerce, and in terms of its air quality.
Desmond believes a light rail system in New York would be used mostly by midday travelers and will be very expensive to build. He is unsure how far the project will go.
As a novelty, it's a nice thing. It might make Brooklyn a more attractive place. It might be good for Brooklyn's, downtown Brooklyn's image. But clearly, you want to go beyond novelty to solve transportation problems.
Diamond also hopes to fill half the tunnel with exhibits on the history of Brooklyn. An ancient trolley car would transport tourists through the museum.
It would be wonderful to find a modest way in which to return access to the tunnel to people who live a century and a half after it had been built. The way the unlikely attraction of the sewers in Paris are returned to 20th century curiosity seekers like myself.
The process of restoring the tunnel is long and complicated. Many critics say plans will never materialize, but Diamond is determined to carry out his ideas. It was a lot easier a century ago, when the tunnel was completed in just 7 months by 800 men paid a maximum of 83 cents a day. It will take more than a decade and over $15 million to fulfill Bob Diamond's dream today.
We're doing a historic restoration. We look at the original paint and document that. We try to reproduce the original paint so that it is the same as it was when it was originally done. Starts up and the machine starts to go around and the faces start to light up, and well, it's a pretty deep thrill inside, to see that.
Welcome back to the ball game, everybody. Randy Schiffman and Dave Skelton bringing you the IPFW game against Lewis University tonight. At halftime, the Dons trailing 37-32. And Dave, we're going to look at these stats, and right now, they don't look so pretty for the Dons. The big one that sticks out is the free throws. 8 out of 18. If they're shooting 70%, which would be 13 out of 18, we'd have a tie ball game right now.
Or even if you'd go 2 out of 3 at that 66%, which isn't anything to brag about, why they'd be helping themselves considerably. But
it'd be a one-point ball game, because then they'd be 12 out of 18. See, 44%, that is just terrible. Out of field goal percentage, you know, neither team too bad, 48 and 46%, both 2 out of 6 from three-point land. Free throws a difference. We also have the turnover stats here. The Dons had 6 turnovers in the first half, and that is a lot, and they only had 7 assists. You'd like to be 2-to-1, have twice as many assists as turnovers. Right now, they're basically on a 1-to-1 ratio.
The fortunate thing at this point in time for the Dons probably is that Lewis is playing about the same kind of basketball, just a notch better maybe. The percentages are about the same, but we have to get the Mastodons really perking in this second half here if they're going to try to go for that positive finish on the end of this season, which has been pretty good here at the tail end.
Yeah, you can see Lewis out rebounding, or the Dons out rebounding Lewis by 1, but Lewis with 4 more assists, and that's usually a key in a ball game. You want to have a lot of assists, get everybody involved in the game. Start of the second half, the Dons will go with the same 5 who started: Mike Pittman, Jeff Smithy, Sean Gibson, Doug Reinke, and Clarence Rich. And for Lewis, they're going with the same 5 as well. That's number 10, Lance Harris. Number 22, Troy Pendergrass. Number 23 is Corey Powell. 54 is Eric Rombach. And number 30 is Rich Agnew. And the Dons get a quick bucket there. Doug Reinke gets a bucket. He's got 7 now. Gibson with the assist, and it's a 3-point ball game. 37-34. Lewis leads it. Almost stolen by Reinke. He tips out of bounds. Corey Powell trying to make the long cross-court pass to Lance Harris. Harris, the leading scorer in the first half, had 13 points for the Flyers, and Rombach had 12. Sean Gibson led the Dons with 10. Harris also had 4 or 5 assists. He really played a great ball game.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, he's been a well-rounded ball player here tonight. Defensively, offensively, been doing it all for the Flyers.
There's Agner on the inside, gets everybody to jump, and dribbles right around them and gets the layup. 39-34, Flyers by 5. Smithy passes up to 3, tries to go back inside to Reinke. Agner tipped it out of bounds. 36 on the shot clock. Does not reset after the ball's tipped out of bounds.
It's the kind of ball game that if either team would make a move to take control of this thing, they could probably do it.
Gibson with the good move on the inside gets the bucket. He's got 12, and the Dons trail by 3, 39-36. Pendergrass, Rombach. Oh, great pass, great play. Saw the eye contact, lobbed it up there, and Rombach lays it right in. And he's got 14. That's a 5-point lead again, 41-36. Lewis on top. Reinke into Gibson. He can't hold on to it. Powell steals it away. Over to Harris. Passes up the Pendergrass in the corner.
Clarence Rich was posted up inside that time with one of the bigger guys there, Harris or Agner, but yet the Flyers didn't see him.
Don's playing that matchup zone. Very similar to the Michigan State defense. 3-2 matchup zone.
State of Michigan wouldn't have any influence on Piazza and Felsky, would they?
No. They're very good friends with Judd Heathcote, Michigan State coach. That's where they picked up the defense and learned it from him. It's a defense that led the Spartans to a national championship, though they did have a guy named Magic something or other running the show there.
He did have a little influence on the outcome.
Reinke with the strong move gets it to fall. Doug's got 7. He's got 9. That's the second bucket of the half. And it's 41-38. Both teams coming out a little hotter this half than in the first. Baskets were few and far between to start the game. Great move, Pendergrass dishes it to Rombach, gets away with the travel. Agner picks up the loose ball, and he gets the bucket. And again, it's a 5-point lead for Lewis. John Honstrader getting ready to come in for the Dons. IPFW not getting a lot of scoring from the guards tonight. As soon as I say that, Clarence Rich gets 2 off the glass. Mike Pittman doesn't have a lot of shots, and Jeff Smithy, I don't know if he's taking a shot tonight.
I don't remember more than maybe 1 or 2, if that.
3-point ball game. Lewis leads at 43-40. 16 and a half minutes to go in the second half. Randy Schiffman and Dave Skelton, glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6. Lance Harris, great pass underneath to Corey Powell, and now it's 45-40. Lewis leads it. Powell knocks it out of bounds. And the Dons come into the game at 15-11 overall, 7-9 in the conference, while Lewis was 11-15, 5-11 in the conference. Dons have won 5 of their last 6. Lost the last game against Northern Kentucky over the weekend, but otherwise have been playing some great ball. There you see Powell knocking that one away. Gibson misses 1 layup. Second attempt is good. Sean's got 14. Dons trail by 3, 45-42.
Well, IPFW needs to be a little more alert on the defense now down at this end. The last couple of minutes or so, they've been a little lax on the defense, and Flyers have come up with easy buckets.
There's Powell with the wide open shot, in and out. Great tip by Eric Rombach with the left hand. He just punched it up in the air and it went in, and Mike Pittman can't handle the pass from Jeff Smithy. Goes out of bounds. Ball to the Flyers. And here comes some subs. And we've got a timeout now. Timeout by the Dons. Andy Piazza not liking what he's seeing. Right now, Dave, IPFW's offense is playing all right, but I don't think the Dons have stopped Lewis this half.
No, I don't think so either, and it's been the kind of thing that's they've almost gone to sleep on some of the defensive plays.
Okay, right now, it's time to take a listen to head coach Andy Piazza.
We have we're assured of a winning season now, but we'd like to finish up the last 2 games, obviously, on a positive note. Lewis is first on Thursday, and a win against Lewis would give us 6 wins in the last 7 games. So we've had a great run the last 3 weeks, beating 2 nationally ranked teams, obviously. The only thing we're unsure of right now is if Mike Pittman's going to play or not, because he's suffered a hamstring injury early in the Northern Kentucky game, and we're unsure yet if he's going to play or not. So it would be a great win for us, obviously, to win without Mike Pittman, and our kids are preparing this week to play Lewis without him right now.
And of course, Mike Pittman is playing tonight, albeit not at 100%. Pittman is he's got such a great personality out on the court, Dave. He really will antagonize the other team and try to get players thinking about him instead of the game, and he hasn't been able to do that tonight.
Kind of guy that might have a nickname like Bulldog, isn't he?
One of those guys that you love him when he's on your team and you hate him when he plays for somebody else. Sort of, this is sort of a slam at Mike, but like a Bill Lane-Beer type.
There you go.
Bill Lane-Beer with the Pistons. People in Detroit love the guy. Everybody else in the league absolutely hates him. Lewis working it around. Good ball movement here. Rombach for 2 out of the corner. Man, is he having a great game.
Big man is having a real good one. Inside, outside, tips. He's done it all. He and Harris.
49-42. Lewis by 7. Just over 15 minutes to go in the second half. Clarence Rich, no good on the 3. Honstrader can't control it, but it's out of bounds off of Rich Agner of Lewis. Downs will keep it. Here comes Pat Murphy. Sean Gibson will go out. Tony Martin is also checked in the game. We'll set the lineup for you for IPFW. It's Mike Pittman, Pat Murphy, John Honstrader, Tony Martin, and Clarence Rich. It's Murphy with the ball. Watch that 5-second count. Gets it to Clarence Rich. Pittman over his head. Good one inside. Gets it to Honstrader. Inside to Murphy. Nice pass. Pat can't get the bucket, and they call the offensive foul on Murphy.
Offensive or a blocking foul?
Offensive.
Offensive foul.
And Murphy's better be careful. He could pick up a tee. That's his second. Saw on the replay there, Murphy being a little bullish. First team foul this half. We've played just over 5 minutes in the second half. At this point in the first half, there were about 10 fouls on both teams.
Yeah, what a difference.
Wide open underneath Rombach again. He is just killing the Dons right now. He's got to have 20 points.
Lewis has found something in the offense or defensive set of IPFW that just lets him go at will.
Honstrider answers. They're going at will, and there's a technical foul on Andy Piazza. Excuse me. I think it's John Felsky. Andy was standing up, but John must have been muttering something as Andy walked by. Felsky can't believe it. See him shaking his head there. John on the right with the mustache.
Well, this may be one of those points in the ball game that it's interesting to note and then to see if indeed that could have some sort of a wake-up effect on the Mastodons.
Rich Agner hits the first technical. And misses the second. Well, mark it down, Dave. There's 14:21 to go. And that just gave Lewis an 8-point lead, 52-44. Check it out in a few minutes and see what happened. Lewis gets a bucket here. It's a 10-point lead. Don't want to be down double digits ever, especially at home in the second half against a team you should beat.
There's still
Foul
a good bit of
with the jumper. Count the basket and the foul. You add in that T, and this could be a 4-point play. Fouls on Clarence Rich. His second, team's second. Corey Powell will try to complete the 3-point play. And Dwayne Shears and Kevin Shank coming in now. And Clarence Rich and Mike Pittman going out 55-44. Flyers lead it by 11 with 14:04 to go. This is a team, Dave, that the Dons beat by 14 points.
On their home court.
Exactly. And that was a long time ago, 2 months ago, January 5th. 5-second violation on Tony Martin.
14 minutes is plenty of playing time for the Mastodons to get back into this, but it's just about that part of the ballgame where they've got to begin some consistent play or things won't get much better.
And it's the defense right now. The defense has just not been effective at all this half. Lewis has scored every time but once or twice. You know, I was talking with Coach Piazza the other day, and he said one of the problems with playing this game is because we haven't played Lewis for 2 months as Kevin Shank gets the steal, and we almost forget what this team is like. And now it's thrown out of bounds. And the fans, the coaches, the players, everyone's going crazy. Saying that it went off of number 22, Troy Pendergrass. I don't know if we've got a good angle on that one or not. But it looked like it was deflected out of bounds. Couldn't see it there. But it looked like a Lewis player, number 22, Pendergrass, hit that ball out of bounds. But the referee says, nope.
If you could read his mind, he might be saying, whoops, I may have missed that call, but he's not going to change it.
Tony Martin sits down and Mike Pittman back in. Doug Reinke is also checked in the lineup. We got Pittman, Reinke, Shank, Shears, and Honstrider out there for the Dons. 3-point shot by Powell, way short. Honstrider with the rebound, throws it away.
Just not
Powell behind the back to number 44 with the jumper. That is Rick Pisha. And it's a 13-point lead, 57-44. We're under 13 minutes to go. Sean Gibson going to check back in. They need him out there. Shears for three. That is a huge bucket. Huge bucket for the Dons.
It sure is, because things were getting really, really bad.
Yeah, things were getting out of hand there. 10-point lead for the Flyers, 57-47. 12 and a half minutes to go. Time for the D to clamp down for the Dons. Foul inside, stolen away by John Honstrider. Good hands.
Probably the best alert play on
Honstrider
defense.
cruising in for the dunk and a foul. That gets everybody up yelling. Great pass by Mike Pittman. Thought he might have got it to Honstrider a little too far out from the bucket, but Honstrider took the one dribble and took it right to the bucket. None of this layup stuff. He jammed it home, as you see.
Didn't leave any doubt for the fans that time.
There you see it. Honstrider in strong. Fouls on number 30, Rich Agner, his second, team's first of the half. Boy, can you believe that? Almost 8 minutes until the Flyers picked up a foul. Honstrider trying to complete the three-point play. This will cut the lead to 7 if he makes it. No good, but Kevin Shank steals the rebound.
Oh, and he missed Honstrider back inside, but still an opportunity to score.
Pittman hits the jumper, 4-point play. And now it's a 6-point lead, 57-51 with 12 minutes to go. Don scoring 7 points in a hurry.
Probably their best run of the evening.
Yeah, Shears hit the 3, Honstrider with the slam, Pittman with the jumper. And there's a silly foul on Dwayne Shears way out top against Rich Agner. They had a trap set there.
Could have had him in big trouble, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you've got to play defense with your legs and your feet, though. You don't play defense with your hands. It's first foul on Shears. 3 team fouls on the Dons this half. At least the crowd's awake again. We've got a pretty good crowd out here tonight.
And there's the guy that's, and if he's
the big man, Rombach, at the three-point line, finally misses a jumper, and Sean Gibson gets fouled. And a good timeout called by Al Davis of the Flyers, because he sees a 13-point lead slip down to 6 in just over a minute. Foul was on number 42, Randy Clay. That's his first, team second. 11:44 to go in the second half. Dons trail it by 6. We're also about to hear from Coach Andy Piazza. We were wondering, how will Lewis defend the Dons, and what will you do to counteract it?
Mostly they play a half-court man-to-man game. They press a little bit. They did against us early in the year because they were behind most of the game. Very rarely do they play zone, but when they do, they trap out of it. So it's a pressing type situation. Offensively, they're very patient. They work the shot clock. They play 3 perimeter people out and 2 inside with a high-low game, which is difficult for us because they're the only team that plays it in our league against us. So our matchup zone has a lot of adjustments to make this week, and they're 3 people out, freelance a lot, back pick for each other. So it's a lot of communication that has to go on for us also, and sometimes we don't do that very well against teams like that. But we beat them at their place convincingly, but we shot real well there. We didn't play real well, but we shot like almost 60% from the floor at their place. And the difficult thing is we played them January 5th, and it seems like 2 or 3 years ago we played them. Our kids in practice this weekend, some of our breakdown drills for Lewis don't even remember what colors their uniforms were.
And Mike Pittman with the ball. Don's trailing by 6 right now. 57-51, 11 and a half minutes to go. Randy Shifton and Dave Skelton bring you the game tonight on College Cable Access Channel 6. Really glad you're with us here this evening. Second to the last telecast of the season. Play with the steal, but Honstrider takes it right back. Dave, this is my last game of the season. I'm not going to be here Saturday night against St. Joe's.
We better pass the word down to the bench then to win this one for the Shipper, right?
Mike Pittman with the leaning jumper. Boy, he is really favoring that leg right now. He's got a pulled hamstring, and he is playing on guts right now.
Yes, he is.
3-point ball game, 57-54, 11 minutes to go. By the way, you got to tell us what happened to Charlie Washington tonight. Why isn't he here?
Charlie left town, and I'm not sure anybody knows for sure why.
Oh, I wonder if he wasn't chased out. You're not implying that, are you?
No, better not.
Kevin Shank with the steal, but they call him on a foul. And, Dave, this is the one I hate. You see a referee standing right in front, had a perfect view of that one. Doesn't make the call. The referee from behind, who has to be Superman with X-ray vision to see through the bodies to make the call, does it. So I guess that referee is Superman.
You would almost think the one guy's embarrassing.
Here's a replay. You see the referee at the top of your screen did not call it, and he had the best look. Well, that's one on Kevin Shank. 4 team fouls, and the coach is not happy with this one. Mike Pittman has left the court. He's going to try to loosen up that hamstring. We're telling you, he was just really limping around. Shank upset about that foul call. He's playing some ferocious defense right now. Jump shot is good by Ernest Hickman. That was a bucket that the Flyers needed. That puts their lead back to 6, 59-53.
Hickman's first basket of the evening.
Jeff Smithy back in. He has not done much tonight. John Honstrider being held like a teddy bear.
He and Agner were
By
really
Rich
jockeying.
Agner. Yeah. Agner was holding him like, who is it? Linus holds the blanket on Peanuts. Look at him battling on the inside there. That is 3 on Agner, 3 team fouls on the Flyers. Honstrider taking a seat now. You see Agner all over. Doug Reinke's come back in. I think the Dons are really going to have to look to Sean Gibson to do some scoring. He is getting it when he gets the ball.
Yeah, Sean needs to get back into the flow of things for the
Kevin Schenk driving inside with the shot. No good. Offensive foul. Saying he cleared out with the right arm. It's 2 on Kevin. 5 team fouls.
The Dons just aren't able to sustain things. They cut it down, and they're still in a position where they can win the ball game, but it hasn't come easy.
10 minutes to go. Dons trailing Lewis by 6. 59-53. Pass inside, almost stolen. And Agner misses the reverse layup, and now it is Shears coming away with it. And another foul on Agner. That's his 4th, and he can't believe it, shaking his head in disbelief.
And that could be a problem for the Flyers because he hasn't scored a lot, but he's been a tough defensive player and a rebounder for them.
And the Flyers, not a very deep team. I think he was really upset that he missed the layup, and he compounded the problem by committing the foul. Again, that's 4 on Agner.
4 on the team for this half.
Oh, bad pass by Kevin Schenk. He thought Shears was going to stay in the corner looking for the 3, but Shears was cutting back door.
It's one of those where Shears had been there and had been wide open out on the side.
Lance Harris has been very quiet this half for the Flyers, number 10.
Yes, he hasn't scored this half.
Maybe he'll stay that way. Rick Pisha, number 44, got away with the walk, and there's Harris with the 3.
We shouldn't have said anything.
62-53, and it's a 9-point lead. Now, after that technical, we said we'd check. It's been 5 minutes since the technical on John Felski. Lewis has expanded the lead by a point. Great pass inside. Schenk to Gibson. Sean gets the bucket, and now it's 7 points. 62-55. Lewis on top. 9 minutes to go. Jeff Smithy with the steal, and Schenk comes up with it, but he dribbles it out of bounds. And once again, the Dons don't agree with that call, and it's the same official who's made every call against IPFW.
Somehow the man had the view right in front of him, and
should have had a good view. The ball was right on the line.
Maybe we'll see.
There you see Smithy. Didn't look like it hit out of bounds. Well, Schenk may have stepped out of bounds and come back in, which you cannot do. You have to establish your position in bounds before you can touch the ball. Lewis chewing a little clock right now. Clock definitely in Lewis's favor. Leading by 7 with 8:20 to go. 15 on the shot clock.
They haven't done this for a while. They did about the middle of the first half.
10 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Harris driving in, has it stolen away by Smithy, out of bounds. Off of Lewis. I don't understand that at all, dude. I do not understand that at all. You've got the momentum going your way. Why kill it?
Yeah. Harris is talking to a teammate like he was expecting a pick, but something didn't go the way they planned it.
Well, it's one thing to use a little clock, but to not look for a shot until there's 5 seconds.
That's right.
That's just silly. Shears inside with the left hand. Terrific shot. Good pass by Smithy. Now the lead's cut to 5, 62-57. This game far from over. Has not been a pretty game, but it's been close most of the way.
IPFW that time at least took advantage of the last mistake for the Flyers. Again, the Flyers in no hurry.
Powell for 3, not close. Rebound goes way over, and Hickman tried to save it, and he couldn't. Dons can really trim it down now. A 3-pointer would cut it to 2. Maybe we'll see the old 4-point play. We've seen some of those this year.
You talk about little things a while ago that Clarence Rich does. That time Lewis tried to bounce the ball off of him. He was alert enough to step out of the way.
Right. And he was also keeping the man away from getting to the ball and keeping it inbounds by himself. Clarence sort of setting a little pick. Reinke outside to Shears for three. Just long, but Rich with the rebound sneaks inside. There's that man again, number 12. Clarence not shooting much tonight, though. Reinke gets hammered by number 40, Tim Hansen. That'll be 5 team fouls on the Flyers. 2 personals on Tim Hansen. You'll see him come right over the back of Doug Reinke's clearance. Rich tries to go inside.
IPFW with the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket here with an opportunity to. Richmond from the side, free.
Clarence Rich, they're listening to me tonight, Dave. I told you he needed to take a shot, and there he goes, and he pops the three, and it's a 2-point ball game, 62-60, just under 7 minutes to go.
And this is the closest this ball game has been in a long, long time.
I love when they listen to me.
There you go. Now, if Lewis will just keep controlling that ball outside for a while.
They've really gone away from Rombach, number 54, the big man, who was playing great. Harris with a long three. Big bucket. Boy, he's come through when they've needed it tonight. That was an NBA three.
His 4th of the night, 2 in each half.
65-60, Lewis by 5. Great pass inside Smithy, but Reinke can't control it. Now he's got it. Dishes it to Gibson, and they're going to call a charge on Sean.
Interesting call.
That's a way to describe it. Interesting. Hope we can see that one again from our underneath camera. Sean looked like he was knifing down the lane. There you see it. Reinke with the save. Gets it to Sean, who's cutting inside. And it sure looked like number 22, Troy Pendergrass, stepped right into Gibson.
I don't think there's been a call underneath that has gone to a blocking call. It's been an offensive foul every time.
That's true. Amazingly, first foul tonight on Sean Gibson. 6 on the team. Harris with the ball. Pittman's going to be picking him up outside now. You know that for sure. Pittman all over Harris. The Dons almost playing a man. Oh, number 30, Rich Agner, gets lost underneath. I think Dwayne Shears lost sight of him. All of a sudden, it's back to a 7-point lead, 67-60. Under 6 minutes to go. Reinke going for the dunk, has it blocked by Corey Powell, but they call Powell with the foul. That one looked pretty clean. Dons might have gotten a break there. Seems like the same officials making every call, too. The gentleman with the gray hair, whose name I do not know, unfortunately. Great pass, Pittman through the legs of Agner. Powell might have gotten Reinke with the body. But the Dons will take that call, that's for sure. Got to start making the free throws, though. Reinke strong off the back rim.
Needs to get a little arch on that shot, give it a chance to go in. It's going straight up there.
That was Corey Powell's 3rd personal foul. 6 on the team, and Reinke misses a pair.
Doug having a real tough night.
Telling you, if the Dons lose this ball game, Dave, it's because of poor free throw shooting. About 40% right now.
Free throw shooting and some defensive lapses time after time.
Well, the free throws, though, you know,
they're there.
All you 60 or 65%, it'd be a tie ball game. Agner in the corner. Lewis continues to run clock. 15 on the shot clock. Harris. The ball outside. Gets it to Powell. Pulls up for the 12-footer. It's good off the glass. With 5 minutes to go in the game, Lewis leads it by 9. Doug Reinke streaking down the wing with the reverse no good layup. Reinke gets his own rebound. Gets it out to Shears for 3. In and out. Rich with the rebound. Over to Gibson for the layup. 69-62. Lewis by 7. 4:45 to go.
It was almost an essential score for the Mastodons to stay close enough that they could still make a run at this thing.
Now look for Lewis to take 30 seconds off the shot clock, except Rombach is wide open underneath. He gets the layup. 71-62 with 4.5 to go, and IPFW takes the timeout. 9-point lead for Lewis. 4:27 to go. Time to start checking who the bad free throw shooters are for Lewis, because that could be a big factor. Now we're going to hear from IPFW's only senior, Mike Pittman. We want to know what he thinks his greatest accomplishment as an IPFW Mastodon has been.
Greatest accomplishment, athletic-wise, it would, of course, probably be whenever we knocked off both the third and seventh-ranked team in the nation in 1 week. You know, that was just such a good feeling, especially after the way our season had gone up to that point, that to be able to come in and do something like that, you know, it not only proved to ourselves what we can do as far as our athletic ability goes, but it gave us a mental boost also, you know, that will carry on past the season and on to the guys for next year also, because we seem to be so down due to the way, like I said, the season had went to that point. You know, we were 10-10, and then all of a sudden some things worked out for us, and we were able to accomplish what appeared to be a pretty impressive task by many. And, you know, that will allow them to have, you know, more of a positive attitude to work harder this summer too. You know, if we would have ended up on a bad note, sort of like the season was going at that time, and possibly ended up maybe with a right at 500 record or possibly below, you know, that would have put it sort of a damper on maybe their attitudes to work hard towards the summer. So not only was that a big, I say, positive thing for me in my 2 years here, but also the way it's going to carry over for the team next year, you know, that also helps me out to know that it'll possibly help them out next year.
Well, you saw the Dons fail to score, and then Lewis could not score either. Corey Powell took a quick shot. That was a break for IPFW. And I think we're finally going to get a blocking foul. They get number 22, Troy Pendergrass. So that'll send Mike Pittman to the free throw line, shoot the 1-on-1. That's 3 personals on Pendergrass. 17 fouls on Lewis. Dons trailing by 9, 71-62, with just 4 minutes and 1 second left. Yeah, you see Pendergrass bump Pittman pretty well. He hits the first. Somebody finally makes a free throw. Now, and if you're IPFW thinking about whom to foul on Lewis, well, you don't want to foul number 10, Lance Harris. He shoots 90% from the line, and you don't want to foul number 30, Rich Hagner, 88%. Pittman hits 1 out of 2. That's been the story all night for the Dons from the line. It's an 8-point ball game, 71-63, under 4 minutes to go. Wide open underneath. Rombach gets the easy layup, and that could be it, Dave. 10-point lead with 3:40 to go.
Going to be a difficult uphill battle now.
Got to shoot threes. Inside. Honstreiter can't control the pass, out of bounds to Lewis. Here comes Doug Reinke.
Just enough time to say it still could be done.
Lewis can't get the ball in, so Rich Agner does the right thing, and he calls a timeout. Want to turn the ball over here. 3:36 to go. Lewis leads it by 10, 73-63. Dons might have time for one final run. Going to have to create some turnovers or get lucky and have Lewis miss some front ends of the 1-on-1s.
And they'll have to cash in on everything they have an opportunity for. No more missed free throws. No more kicked balls. It's got to go in the hoop from here on out.
Well, in the first half, the Dons were 8 out of 18 from the free throw line. And what are we having for this half? Can't be too much better. Can't be too much better, that's for sure. I want to tell you the College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including complete monthly sports listings. To receive your free, that is no charge, Channel 6 program guide, please send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The zip code is 46805-1499, or if you'd like, please give us a call at 481-6582, and we'll take care of you that way and get you that program guide so you can check out not only the sports, but the rest of the terrific programming on College Cable Access Channel 6. Right now, we've got IPFW basketball. The Dons trailing Lewis 73-63, 3:36 to go. Lewis with the ball. The foul on Clarence Rich. He nails number 22, Troy Pendergrass. So it looks like the Dons' theory is going to be foul.
Probably a good foul, as good as they could come up with at this point in the game. They did stay away from the 2 hot shots. You were asking about the Dons earlier. In the second half, they're 1 for 4. They haven't shot very many, but they've haven't been able to cash in on the ones
That makes
had.
him a not too sterling 9 out of 22 from the free throw line tonight.
You won't win too many ball games with that kind of shooting.
And missed free throw by Pendergrass, but Agner comes down with the rebound. Sort of sums up the ball game for the Dons.
Yes, it kind of does.
You do the right thing, you get the right guy at the line, he misses a shot like you want him to, and you don't get the rebound. There's Clarence Rich with the steal. Almost. That was a scary layup. It almost bounced out. But
You
now
said
it's
we
an
needed
8-point
to
lead.
steal. Got one.
Rombach wide open underneath, gets the bucket and the foul. He has just killed IPFW tonight. He's up around 25 points. 6'9" senior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Good pass underneath. You see him get the foul. And the bucket foul was on Clarence Rich, his fourth. Rombach will be at the line trying to complete the three-point play. Right now, Lewis leads by 10, 75-65, 3 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the contest. And the free throw is perfect.
And the big guy's perfect at the line, 3 for 3, and hasn't done too badly from the field.
11-point lead. He's getting close to 30 points right now. Clarence Rich will try the three. Good. And it's an 8-point ball game, 76-68.
Clarence's third three-pointer of the evening. And the Mastodons still hanging around just close enough.
1 second to get it across. Just gets across before the 10 seconds. Tell you, Rombach, for a big guy, really handles the ball well. Kind of guy we might see playing in the CBA next year here with the Fort Wayne Fury.
He could have a good possibility at that.
He's got a nice shot for a big guy, handles the ball well. Hasn't really been tested much on defense tonight, so we don't know much about that, but he really seems to have a good grasp of the game. You see him cutting backdoor there, but he gets a shot block from behind, but they call a foul on Tony Martin. Tell you, Rombach moves very well for a big man.
Might be interesting to see a replay on that one.
But Tony got a lot of ball on that one. Might have bodied him up a little. Second personal on Tony. There's the replay. That looked awfully clean. Awfully clean. Might get a better angle on this one. You see Rombach with the give and go. Great pass by 22 Pendergrass. That's all ball. That's no foul.
Looks awfully good.
But so often in that situation, referees anticipate a foul.
Or he's blocked from the angle that was let him see any daylight between the players.
And the first free throw by Rombach is perfect.
29 points for the big guy.
10-point lead, 2:15 to go. Lewis looking like a winner right now. Clarence Rich trying another three. Doesn't get this one. And there's a foul underneath on Agner, and he's out of here. That's 5. That's a break for the Dons because he's their second best free throw shooter. 88%.
And although he hasn't scored a lot, he's been a good steady ball player for them.
And again, you don't want to see those good free throw shooters out on the court late in the game. Here's the replay. You see him bumping Tony Martin. That's where they called it. And that was a break, too, because that shot, after Clarence put it up from the corner, hit the support.
And it
would have been out of bounds.
Called out of bounds.
To Lewis.
Right.
Tony Martin, if he can hit a couple of free throws, keep the hopes alive for IPFW. He hits the first one. 78-69. Lewis by 9 points. 2:05 to go. Second one, no good, and the rebound to Jeff Smithy. And he loses it. Lewis comes away with it. Lance Harris, the guy you don't want to foul, leading free throw shooter in the conference. Stolen away, though. Smithy gets it to Martin. No layup. No layup. Call the foul before the shot on number 23, Corey Powell. Boy, that was a 3-on-none, and the Dons just couldn't control the ball. You see the steal.
Again,
Smithy needed to give it up a little sooner there. Nobody really had a good grip on the ball.
Again, it's an interesting call. The foul was close enough to going up to shoot. That's
a bucket in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bucket in a lot of college ball games, too.
First free throw is good by Martin. They call a little more continuation than they used to. It used to be, unless that ball was out of your hand, they didn't count it. Now they're giving it a little more, which I think is a good idea. Martin's second free throw. That one's good, so now it's a 7-point game with 1:46. And Shears fouls Harris.
The wrong guy.
90% free throw shooter, leads the Great Lakes Valley Conference from the free throw line.
Although if he's had any flaw tonight, it's the fact that he's missed a couple of free throws already.
Greatest free throw shooter I've ever seen this year. Maybe that'll jinx it. We shall see, we shall see.
Well, with the kind of night he's had from the three-point land, I would think the 15
he might want to step a little back and shoot this one. This is where your clutch players come through, though. Like that. Shears picked up his second foul, 10 on the team, so Harris gets 2 free throws. First one, as you saw, was good. Second one is good. 9-point lead, minute 40 to go. Dons need to get something going in a hurry here. Rich for 3. Not even close. Tony Martin gets the air ball and puts it in. Dons call timeout. 80-73, a minute and a half to go. Dons on the wrong end of the score. Down by 7.
Minute and 30, 7-point deficit, not an impossibility.
Time to hear again from senior guard Mike Pittman. Wondering about in his career.
Yeah, there definitely will be. It really has not anything directly related to basketball, but it has to do with a lot of the friendships and that type of thing that I've met, the people that I've met here in Fort Wayne. You know, I look back now at what, a year and a half, almost 2 years of what I've been here, and through basketball and through the people I've met through the program, you know, there's a lot of friends, not just the fellow students that are dedicated fans, but also the families of the other players, that, like the Ranke family. They invite me over for Thanksgiving whenever I'm not able to go home, and that type of thing, and just the good close friendships with not only the players on the team, but everybody involved in the organization.
And they could use something great from Mike Pittman right now, though he may not get back in the game. His leg is really hurting him. Dons trailing by 7, 80-73, minute and a half to go.
Well, with the kind of injury that Mike has, they got a lot of mileage out of him tonight.
Lewis gets the ball in. Rombach, the big guy, gets it across the timeline, dribbling around. Lewis just wasting some time here, and Harris has the ball. That's the guy you don't want to foul. And now Gibson fouls number 24, Ernest Hickman. You got to make a decision here, Dave. Who's going to be our Dandy Don player of the ball tonight?
Well, we got a couple of good possibilities, as you just mentioned, Sean Gibson, Clarence Rich. Let's see how it goes in the next 15 minutes, which is how long it may take to play the last minute and 20.
I don't think it will. There's Sean, you see, grabbing his second personal foul. Hickman at the line, shooting 2. First one rolls off. There is still some life. Second shot by Hickman. Hits it. 8-point ball game, minute 15 to go. Don's going to have to fire up a 3 every
Ball's
time.
Ball's got to go up
now.
quickly.
No,
right
Smith
there.
Tries it too. He hits it. There's another timeout.
Interestingly enough, his first basket of the game.
81.
And not too many shots.
Lewis leads it by 6. 81-75. 1:07 to go. Dons only have one timeout left.
Mainly the crowd's trying to get things cranked up here and get the Mastodons pumped up to the point that they can give it their best shot here at the last minute and 7 seconds.
And we have made a decision on the Dandy Down player of the game, and I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Good.
You're going to have to
Keep me in
stick around and
suspense.
watch the end of the ball game. Set the scene for you again. 1:07 to go. Don's trailing by 6. 81-75. Lewis with the ball.
Defense is going to be very, very important here.
And there's the guy you don't want to get it. Lance Harris. You've got to have somebody on, a 90% free throw shooter who leads the conference.
Play him to deny the ball. Make somebody else get the ball.
It's as simple as that. You put two. You've got 5 guarding 4 on an inbounds play. You put 2 guys on him, and everybody else has to go man to man. You can't let him have the ball.
Maybe he'll miss one time here.
But maybe not.
Looks pretty good, though, doesn't it?
Very good. That's 3 in a row he's made in the last minute. Second shot by Harris. 4 in a row he's made in the last minute. 8-point ball game, 83-75. Dons have to take threes. Shears will take the 3 and hit the 3. Dons don't use that last time out. Don't foul Harris.
Make him get rid of it and
He
then
gets
foul
rid of
somebody.
it. To a wide open foul. Now foul him. And Clarence
All
Rich
right.
does.
Good foul.
44 seconds to go. Dons trail by 5. 83-78.
That's going to be the...
Clarence Rich is out.
Yep.
By my count.
Powell going to the line. He's been there only once tonight. Hit the free throw.
Mike Pittman coming back in. Bad leg and all. Well, if Powell misses this one, Clarence Rich finishes up a pretty good night. 15 points. A few rebounds, couple of steals, and assist or 3. Powell hits the first free throw. 6-point ball game. 84-78. Second free throw from Powell is around and in. 85-78, 40 seconds to go. Don's losing by 7. Smithy to Shears. Tries the 3. No good. Rebound out of bounds. Stays with IPFW. They say it went off of number 54, Eric Rambach.
Well, back about 10 minutes of playing time ago, the Mastodons got within 2. And that was it. After that time...
Sometimes you just get tired out trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Inside to Tony Martin. It's stolen away. That, my friends, is the ball game. Here comes Powell all alone with the two-handed jam. 87-78, 20 ticks left. Dons will lose their second in a row and fall to 15 and 12 overall. 7 and 10 in the conference. Sean Gibson gets a bucket. 12 seconds left. Dons losing by 7, 87-80. I am an optimist, Dave, but not about this ball.
12 seconds might be cutting it a little thin.
Let's look at that dunk again. This is the one that really sealed it. There was a scramble for the ball coming off the inbounds play.
Well, they're ready for live play again.
Oh,
it looks
yeah,
like.
we're back already. I don't know what happened with the timeout there. There you see the dunk by Powell. He's inbounding the ball right now.
Well, they played it the way you got to play it. They had 2 on Harris. He didn't get the ball.
Here's number 24, Ernest Hickman, gets fouled by Kevin Shank. That's 3 on Kevin. Doesn't mean too much right now. 9 seconds to go. The fans filing out. You'll see the, no, you won't see the foul. Ernest Hickman, a senior out of Dyersburg, Tennessee. Strong on the first free throw.
Well, Coach Al Davis has got to be pleased. They got a bit of a monkey off their back. I think they had lost something like 8 straight road games coming in here tonight.
And he hits the second 8-point ball game. Stolen by Pendergrass to Rambach. Beautiful move. That puts him over to 30. And that, my friends, is the ball game. Final score, Lewis 90, IPFW 80. Dons dropped to 15-12 overall, 7-10 in the conference, while Lewis ups its record to 12-15, 6-11 in the GLVC. Now, don't go away, Dave. You can give him some stats and a quick recap. I'm going to head down to the court, and we're going to talk to our Dandy Don player of the ballgame.
Okay, we'll give a little summary here on the scoring for the Lewis Flyers tonight. And we're totaled up on everybody but Harris, and he had a bundle. He had 2 field goals of the regular variety, 4 from three-point land. So he has 12, 14, 16, and then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 points for the ball game. 13 in the first half, 10 in the second half. Pendergrass, 2 points. Powell chipped in with 13 points, coming on strong in the second half to score 11 points. Hickman, 4 points. Agner played a strong game defensively and on the backboards. 10 points for the winning Flyers from Lewis University. 2 points by Kilo. Clay chipped in with 5 points. Piska, 2 points. And the big guy for the ball game, about twice his per game average, Rombach, number 54, scored 31 points for the Lewis Flyers tonight. On the IPFW side of the ledger this evening, leading scorer is Sean Gibson with 20. He had a consistent game, 10 points each half. Doug Reinke scored 9 points. John Honstrider had 6. Then we come up to Kevin Shank with 2. Tony Martin scored 9 points. We get 4 and 10 points from Dwayne Shears. Clarence Rich with 15 points. And Kevin is the player of the game. Dandy Don Award tonight.
They didn't call a blocking foul tonight. Every one of those fouls was called a charge. Randy Schiffman now with Clarence Rich, our Dandy Don player of the game. Clarence had 15 points. Clarence, it seemed the difference in this one, 2 things. Bad free throw shooting by you guys, and you seemed a little mixed up on the defense. What was going wrong?
Well, they were cutting so much, people were getting their defensive assignments all mixed up and stuff, so that's basically what it was.
Is it tough playing a team that you haven't played for 2 months? Because usually in the conference you're playing everybody within, 3 or 4 weeks. You hadn't seen these guys since the beginning of January, and you beat them by 14 at their home.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's, with the mental attitude, you got to be ready for every game, no matter how long you played somebody, no matter how good or how bad the record are, you got to come ready to play every night.
What about their big man, Rombach? He really played a good game. To say he's really come on strong lately, he looked like an all-conference performer tonight.
Yeah, you're right. These last few games, he's been averaging double figures. He's really been hot the last part of the season. That's what it is. Easy layup. People get their defensive assignments mixed up, and he's at the basket, So he plays within his game.
It seemed like another thing that hurt you guys tonight is you came out a little slow. They moved out to a big lead in the first half. Why a sluggish start this evening?
Mental attitude. You got to come ready from start to finish every game. That's basically what it is. Physically, everybody's in shape. Everybody know how we play and know what the assignments are. Just tonight, they didn't come ready to play. That mental attitude's got to be there.
How much did it hurt you guys having Mike Pittman playing at maybe 50%? He really looked like he was limping out there.
Well, it didn't really hurt us too much. Mike has had a lot of good games coming down the stretch, and him being hurt and coming back and play. Well, it might hurt us a little bit because he didn't practice that much, and being away from the running and stuff, it kind of get to you a little bit.
Okay, last thing, how quickly can you guys shake off this loss? Because you finish out the season at home Saturday night against St. Joe's, and I know you guys want to go out a winner.
Right. Well, there again, you have to learn from your mistakes. This game is over, so you got to forget about it. Come ready to play the next game.
Okay, I hope you do forget about it, and I hope you come home and win Saturday night. That'll make you 16-12, which will be not a bad season, the way things were going in the middle. Yeah. And we hope everybody tunes in and watches it Saturday night. We're going to throw it back to Dave to wrap it up. Dave?
Thank you, Randy. And for those of you who joined us again, the final score, the Lewis Flyers 90, IPFW Mastodons 80. We have one final game of the season left this Saturday night, 8 o'clock, when the IPFW Mastodons will entertain the St. Joe College Pumas here at the multipurpose building, the Athletic Center on the IPFW campus. So for Randy Shipman, this is Dave Skelton saying thank you for being with us, and join us Saturday night for the final home game of the IPFW Mastodons.
The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. Tune in and see the Soviet select team take on the IPFW Mastodons on Tuesday, April 9th at 7:30 p.m. Catch all the action of world-class volleyball live on College Cable Access, Channel 6.